with folks about getting donation dollars for the material to construct that path. My personal opinion is if we could get this thing built, it would be a significant asset and a highly used asset in the city of Alpine. And connecting Medina all the way to Fighting Buck Avenue. Certainly long term, we would look to go through where the golf course is and Coconut Lodge, but just getting to Fighting Buck Avenue would be significant. We've got that crushed granite path from that point over to Coconut Park. So we've got that in motion right now. We're also, Stuart and I have been pursuing a couple hoteliers for additional rooms in the downtown corridor and having some nibbles on the hook related to that. Feel very confident that we certainly have the right story to tell about what that could do for tourism in Alpine and how their occupancy could be really a positive with the right type of hotel in the downtown area. And then certainly parking, sightlines in downtown continue to be a source of conversation. We'll talk a little bit about sightlines as we discuss traffic later in the meeting. And then our cross streets and alleys in downtown are focus points for us. Jay's looking at a couple different vendors that come in with smaller laydown machines. We just don't have a small laydown machine right now. So to get into the alleys, we have to hire that work out. And then planning and zoning is working on historic district consolidation, which is one of those action items, because our historic district, when you look at it, it extends all the way north to Brown Avenue. And certainly that it's about half the town, so we've got to get that slimmed down to something a little bit more reasonable. Moving forward from there, city website update. If we look back to early 2014, we used a student from Saul Ross, who was working for us, Glenn Lasoya, currently now works full-time for Saul Ross in their media productions department. He built our website using WordPress, and we host the back end through a server company. And currently it's Abel, Megan, and myself with some outside help for Shrujia to maintain that. We've really been unable to get a longer-term intern type solution from Saul Ross, and certainly having the city manager, Megan Abel, working on this on a day-to-day basis is probably not the long-term solution for the city, as we're trying to get more information out. And we'll talk about it in court here in a minute, and some of the other things we're trying to do to allow citizens to have better use, ease of use. One of the things Councilor Escobedo has talked about is how do we do better notifications, better calendar entries. So we've been looking at different vendors out there that can provide us those types of services and really enhance what our city website not only looks like, but the functionality of it. And so we're certainly trying to compile a lot of the feedback we're getting, not just from council, but from the community too. So really more residents want to interact with us via the web, via smartphones. I was just looking at the stats this last week. I mean, at any given day, we're getting 250 to 300 people going to our website. So that's a real indicator to me that people are wanting to do business with the city of Alpine. And we've got to make sure our back end is maintained properly. Fuel cards, probably wonder why the heck are you putting this up on there. Interesting enough, Megan and I got a notice this past month from Gas Card that says our rates were going to be increasing. And anytime we see that, that's a trigger to us. Okay, well, if you're going to put our rates up, who else should we look at? So wanted to really let council know that we were going to actively pursue looking at some of the different vendors that are out there. If we subsequently have to change anything related to the budget, then we would bring that back to council. But wanted to give you all a heads up first. West Texas Gas is really the company behind the gas card brand. You've also got other companies out there like Wright. When I was at CenturyLink, we use Wright Fuel Services for our fueling programs. And we do get a discount. So what you see at the pump is not what the city of Alpine pays. We'll pay about 10 to 15 cents below that, okay? So we want to make sure we're getting the most competitive pricing, because we do chew through a lot of fuel when you think about our public works teams, utilities, everybody that's out there. So we also do some traveling to different training sessions, so having access to make sure we're maintaining our discounts when we travel to San Angelo, Austin, San Antonio, of course, as well. So we'll analyze the options and potentially change vendors if needed. Moving forward into the N-Cord utility billing side of things, provided you information, background in your packet, and N-Cord sent us some nice spiral line information. They've also got very similar information on the website. They did come back to Megan as well today and said the service fee for us would not be $4.95 per transaction, it would be $3.95. And so they've cut down another $1 on that. The key to note is moving forward with something like an N-Cord for utility billing, we are not upcharging every person out there. You still have an auto draft. If you come in and pay in cash, you come in and pay a check, your fee doesn't change. The use of N-Cord is really more of a convenience for people that want to go online and pay. And so for some people, not having to write a check, put it in the mail, or come here to City Hall is worth $3.95. There's the time it's worth that. So us being able to give them the opportunity to do that. We also have a lot of absentee owners. And many times they get on the cutoff list because they haven't tendered payment. Well, this gives them an opportunity, instead of having to put the check in the mail, they can pay right online. They, or Megan has also spoke with our court. Later on, we can migrate this functionality to our courts as well, so people can pay citations. And currently, we've got a program that we use, but we would ultimately like to put everything in the same system. Van Horn uses N-Cord right now. Megan and team have been dialoguing with the group up in Van Horn. They provided very positive feedback on it. And we also look at this as being a product that would be easy to integrate with where we're going with our website as well. Ultimately, because it would be a fee that would be associated with utility billing, we would have to update the ordinance. So the city manager's report today is just to kind of give you awareness that we intend on bringing this as an ordinance change in the next couple of weeks. And certainly, by making it public, folks can come into our office, speak with Megan or myself about it. But I think the thing I want to emphasize most is it's not going to be a $3.95 fee on everybody. It's if you choose to use this for your convenience, you would pay that additional. And we do have a lot of people that ask us, hey, can we pay online? And so we think that being able to offer them this type of solution. There'll also be the ability to come in and pay with a credit card. Okay, so they'll pay a 3% fee if they come in and pay with a credit card. We'll have the credit card machine here. Once again, the credit card companies don't process the transactions for free. Somebody's got to pay for it. So from a convenience perspective, the person who wants to use it will then pay for that service. So we're really trying to put the choice into the citizen's hand, how they want to do business with us, give them that opportunity.
So Eric, when you go out with assuming council such a you would advertise that you still pay cash, you do your automatic withdrawal, or you have these other options just add to the bill.
Correct. Yeah, and we would be real clear and specific, and certainly rely on our media partners to make sure what goes into the media is clear and concise. And the last topic I had today relates to our annual racial profiling report. A year or so ago, provided this. Senate Bill 1074 requires that or that our police chief provides this annually. Really, we've got a local policy as well, reaffirms Alpine Police Department's commitment to unbiased policing. And that's really what we're trying to focus on with doing this report and how we act on an annual basis. We train our officers during their cadet school, and then there's some ongoing training at Chiefstown. The full report is in your packet. I'll post it online after today's meeting so the general population can view it. But a couple of the points that I wanted to make sure we talked about this evening. The report outlines some expectations related to on-dash video and body camera video. So we use more video out there. It certainly gives us all a better representation of what's happening during a traffic stop or some type of event that's out there. I think we all, as we surf the internet, whether we're using a Facebook or a Twitter or just general websites, we all come across those. Like the one I saw yesterday was some young man that got pulled over for drunken driving, and he was juggling. And so he was trying to prove to the officer that he wasn't drunk because he got, his juggle sticks out. Well, I find that funny, but in reality, what's interesting is how much we as a society are gravitating towards the visual representation. And it does provide protection not only for the citizen, but also for the officer as far as the representation of what is happening. So, summary statement at the end, the City of Alpine Police Department did not experience any evidence of racial profiling practices. We certainly have a very diverse police department team. I would not expect there to be, but we certainly go through the radar to ensure that we're treating everybody in an unbiased way. So, that's it for my pre.
Great reports. This past week, as I said, we had the couple of folks out here, and I talked to several folks on the street, and they all commented how clean Alpine was. There was no tagging, which, they come from cities where there's a lot of tagging going on. We don't have any here. I haven't seen any. We also had 2 code compliance officers now instead of 1. So we've made quite a few improvements in the city as far as keeping it clean from what it used to be. The city has migrated to a cleaner, healthier city. Some folks don't see it that way sometimes because they focus in on one particular area. But overall, Alpine has been a pretty clean city in the last few years. So I want to applaud City Manager and staff for keeping Alpine clean and for spreading the word. Thank you.
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
On the fuel cards.
Yes.
Have we done a comparison on the fuel cards versus us leasing a tank and just fueling off of our properties like that? Like the water department.
So buying bulk and then
Not leasing the bulk tank, they'll come set it up for you and then buy the fuel and then just pump.
yeah, so we do. How I best describe this? When we're sumping the fuel at the airport, we'll reuse that fuel in our equipment. Okay, so we do have a reuse policy. We'll try to use that in our lawn type equipment, things of that nature. But as far as having a specific tank and buying in bulk, we really haven't looked at that. I mean, we certainly can open the door. My experience in the phone company, what I never liked is that it always gave an opportunity to go back to the warehouse. And you lost so much time in the day. when people were going back to warehouse. So you might save a few pennies on a gallon, but then if you lose half an hour in productivity, then have you really saved any money? And I know Mayor Ramos, that was a big thing at AT&T as well. And I can tell you the places I've been where we've had that centralized fuel.
I mean, I can see that in a huge city, but in Alpine, you know, it's just like I've told you before, when the sheriffs are flying through town, 80 miles an hour, you know, really, it takes 5 minutes to get across town, no matter where you are. You know, I can't imagine how it would cost us a lot more when it would take you 5 minutes to go from Buckingham and get back to work. You know, it may be an issue if you pull into the house and pick up a burrito or go to the potty or, you know, and just reroute yourself and stuff. But if you're doing your job and you go do your stuff and come back.
Yeah, so the challenge we have is that we're very social people. Okay, our community, we're very social people. So every time you get into that centralized place, so one of the things that I'm working on right now is how many transactions we do at True Value every month. Believe it or not, I find it excessive. It doesn't mean that the volume of what we buy is excessive. It's the amount of actual transactions. Because every time you walk into True Value, you know 3 people there. And so instead of getting in and out in 5 minutes, you get in and out in 20 minutes. So those are things that we look at.
And then my other one was on the credit cards. Because there's 3% fee on the credit card for us to, what do we do? Please purchase the cards. What about those little things that you stick to your computer and just swipe it? You don't have to pay a percentage on that. What do you?
You do, yes.
You do? That one.
Yeah, you pay convenience fee on those.
And actually, 3% is rather reasonable for a merchant discount.
It
If
is.
you go to American Express, you're talking 6, 7%, something like that.
That's all I have.
Any more questions? Okay, let's go to public hearings. We have none. And we'll go to item 6, consent agenda. The minutes, financial reports, department written reports, board appointments, etc. Notice to the public, the following items are of routine administrative nature. The council has been furnished with a background and support material in each item, and or it has been discussed at a previous meeting. All items will be acted upon by one vote without being discussed separately unless requested by a council member. In which event the item will immediately be withdrawn for individual consideration in the normal sequence. After the item not requiring separate discussion has been acted upon. The remaining items will be adopted by one vote. City manager.
So on the consent agenda tonight, item 6A, we have approval of the council minutes of February 21st, 2017.
I so move that we approve the minutes of February 21st. Does that sound good?
The motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those.
Okay, who made the second?
Okay, it's been made and seconded, and there's no discussion, so I believe that we vote on it. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you. And then we'll move on to item 7, information and discussion items. City manager.
Mayor, City Council, item 7A is a preliminary update on our city fiscal year audit, 1/15/2016, Gibson running. We have Marlene here. And is she up on?
No, April's trying to connect. She was early.
She, and just to give a little preface, Marlene's going to give us a quick update where they're at tonight. We'll have another item later in the meeting to set the date for the formal audit review council acceptance.
Can we go ahead and move to item B in the meantime?
Yeah, let's go ahead and move the big.
Excuse Scott for doing this.
Yeah, okay.
City Councilman Fitzgerald.
Yeah, okay, a couple of things to mention about what's happened in the last month with the Commissioner Garrett and myself. The county has taken the ladder truck to Odessa to a company that they know. And so their preliminary deal is we need more batteries. We had to replace all the batteries, the wiring around the shop. And I passed on the name of the local that knows this information to Commissioner Garrett. He's given it to the Decano, and so let's go from there, I guess. Nothing's been definite as far as the price involved. This morning, Commissioner Garrett received a template on their local agreement because he's been digging around trying to find some places that have these in place. And since reinventing the wheel, and we're going to get together, him and I meet at least once a week. So we'll do that here probably Wednesday or Thursday. I presented the council with Councilor Stevens' request of the documentation that I had, and just wondering if there are any kind of comments or suggestions that anybody has. It's not a big deal. But I want you to have the opportunity to input if you care to. We have not received anything from the inventory from ELC Lamberts. Our inventory and what's insured and what's not insured of our equipment, fire equipment, and EMS equipment. We received that information. We have not received anything from the county yet. However, the city's information was provided by Megan the next day. So I was really impressed with that. Okay. We're looking into replacing the Code Red system. The one that we have now in place is $9,000, split 2 ways between the city and the county. And the new one, which has more features and functions, is $4,000. So that we save $2,500 a year by going to the other one. I checked with Chief Scout. He has no problems with it. Steve Andrew Zimmer doesn't have any issues with it, so I think we can move ahead with that. The Commissioner Court has already approved it, but we both have to be on the same system. Say, yeah, we save $2,500. Why not? Get more for it. So, okay, and that's pretty much it. Thank you. Yes, sir. When do you want feedback from us? I'm easy. They don't call me Easy Fits for nothing.
The Code Red we're replacing for updates or?
It's a whole new system. It's a new system. I've got some literature I can give you. I don't think, because it's going to be better. Better than half the price. It's giving you more features and functions. Chief Scout said he wasn't really all that, gun ho on the Code Red anyway. So apparently he's looked at it because I did talk to the people that got to use this thing first. And so
it allows for notifications when there's events. One of the pieces, kind of going back to the city website, that we're zeroing in on is a notification component to the city website as well. So not only will we have a banner ad on top, if there's something like today, try to stay indoors, but anybody that subscribes for the notifications could get them via email and text message as well. So really, all these systems are designed to notify people.
that's all I got.
Yes, sir. And is that an annual fee, the 9,000 versus the 4,000, or it's an annual fee? Okay, so that's a no-brainer.
$2,500 for a better product. Hello. Chief Scout back there shaking his head. Yeah. Okay.
Are we ready for the audit?
Can we move to 7C? Okay. We can combine 7A with 9. I think we need to.
Okay. Council Member Angela had a report for us.
Well, actually, I'm going to turn it over to the police chief, but there have been concerns expressed about 8th Street and Saul Ross Avenue with disabilities. And the wife of one of my constituents had an accident at that spot, which brought it to my attention. And the police department has investigated the area and they have recommendations to make. So, Chief Scallon, if you'd fill us in on that.
Well, the chief's coming up. Let me introduce this piece as well. I know we're gonna have an item in 8 where we're gonna talk a little bit about traffic safety as a whole. One of the things that Chief and I talked quite extensively about on ideas related to 4-way stops is if you create a 4-way stop because you're concerned about the rising sun or the setting sun, that justification would cause us to create 4-way stops across the entire city. Because just the way we sit, I mean, you're going to be looking east and west. And so I think it comes down to, from a governance perspective, what does the council really want to do? And it's council's purview to make that ultimate decision. And the way the laws are in the state of Texas, our traffic engineer, who ultimately for the city of Alpine falls up under the chief of police, would make a recommendation, and then council would, subsequent to that, take action if they deem fit. So Chief Scout can talk a little bit about 8 and Saul Ross, and is here to later in the meeting talk about traffic in general.
Yeah, this particular intersection, we've looked at it, and we're really reluctant to throw another 4-way stop intersection. And it kind of goes along with the intersection at 5th and Saul Ross, which is to us a much more dangerous intersection. And we're not at a point where we can put a 4-way stop there. So we want to do stuff to improve that intersection at 8th and Saul Ross. We want to also look at the possibility of setting up some no parking zones in that area. One thing that Mr. Zimmer and I talked about this morning, we have the ability to set up temporary no parking zones at 5th and Murphy to study that intersection. We'd like the ability to do the same thing at this intersection. Before we go forward and paint no parking zones and enact no parking zones, I still believe it needs to be, the yield signs need to be changed to stop signs. But as far as the parking, I think that's something we need to study a little bit further. And the same thing with Saul Ross. The ability to put the cones up there, and show some temporary no parking zones, and see how that works out, the kind of feedback we get will certainly help us in making better decisions, certainly with everybody else's decisions.
If the council stay where you put it, if they didn't talk on Murphy.
Well, so then that becomes feedback in and of itself.
Yeah.
What we see is there agitation with people with having the no parking.
Certainly, we'll have people that move the cones, run over the cones, but it allows us to get that feedback, even if it's not verbal feedback. That helps us see what's going on with those intersections. It didn't happen at 5th and Murphy where people would move the cones, park there anyway. So it's something that our officers have to really watch and make sure the cones stay in place so that we can have a good representation of what's going to happen if we do make the no parkings. We can't have people, just parking there every now and then occasionally to see if they can get by and still park there without us noticing. But again, we have to depend on the officers to go by and check those places.
One of the main concerns of that particular intersection is I do travel that 3, 4, 5 times a day. I come to complete stop on that yield because it is a dangerous intersection. It's not only whether cars are parked there or not. I always make it a point that there's bike park right up the block on Saul Ross, and you get a little compact car and go see it. Right. And so I've always made a point just to make a complete stop. And I know I was addressed by one of our constituents that his wife had almost had a fatal accident. They're lucky she survived it. But but there's been a little bit of vendors there because it is a straightaway. Yes. And so people kind of tend to have a little bit foot in there. And before you realize it, a lot of cars blend in with the street with a particular color of the vehicle. So that's why I was looking at that. I'd like to have a four-way there. Stop the traffic now that there are police and emergency vehicles when they're coming out of there. They know that someone's going to have to stop on the opposite end as they come out of there on their run. Right. So I'm looking at that as a safety aspect.
Certainly, and by allowing us to create those temporary no parking zones with the use of cones, we can see if that's something that is actually going to benefit and help that intersection. If it doesn't, it may be something we do have to go forward and make it a four-way stop. But it allows us more time to study that.
Okay.
Chief, do you have a plan for that area that sits where the American Legion does not have a curb? And they park in there?
Towards the parking area, the third parking area. That also, I guess, in a way, kind of poses a problem. There's not a whole lot of traffic coming in and out of the Legion all day long, but there are key times when there is more traffic. Also, as far as parking, when they have events there,
They have the parking lot that they put in place.
across the creek.
Right.
City
That's something we just have to work with the Legion on.
And the city,
especially it's,
excuse me, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Okay, the city vehicles also park along that street, throughout the day.
Yes, and at one time that wasn't no parking zone. You can kind of see some of the yellow faded paint right there. That's where the drop box for the water deposits was actually at, and that's why it was a parking. Now, whether it was truly a no parking zone that the council had approved, I'm not sure. I don't recall. That was so long ago. But I'll ask Molly to kind of research that and get back with that. But again, we can set up the temporary cones there and see if that makes a difference as well. We also have a residence on the southwest corner right there. And I'd hate to block off any of their parking in front of the residents. But again, maybe it's something we can study, and if that'll help improve that particular intersection, then we
Can we look at how many citations or vendors we've had in that particular intersection? Is there a record of that?
One of the problems with going back and researching some of the information like that is we've changed software programs several times over the years, and so some of the information is not readily accessible. We could go back and try to do a hands-on search. It's very time-consuming. The best thing we can do is recollection of the officers and which ones have worked to actually set those intersections. If we still have those files, we can go back and look at them. But being able to retrieve that information in a timely fashion that's going to benefit us, it doesn't exist for us because of the software problems. We have a very good software program now that will do that, but if you're trying to go back further than 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, they won't have that information.
Can we go back then as far back as when the new system was implemented?
We can go back with this system in 2 years. And with the other systems, we can look and still have to do a hands-on search for those accident reports. See, we'll work on trying to do that going back a 5-year period. See what we can.
All I'm trying to do is prevent, any injury or death at that particular intersection. Because I know they're both heavily traveled. Avenue 8th and Soul Ross is pretty heavily traveled area. So just I'm looking at it as a safety concern there.
How many blocks do we go from the stop sign that's there at, what is it? Is it 7th?
7th Street. So
How many blocks do we go before the next stop sign? Just to 11?
Oh, yeah, the other way?
Yeah,
11
it's 11th Street.
11 Street to the next street.
That's why I say you have a straightaway right there. Now, I had also thought about, and I think I had discussed it with you one time, removing the stop signs on Soul Ross. So you want to stop twice with a block. And because, you do have a stop sign on, Lock Hardware comes back around and 7th Street there.
Yeah, I'm really reluctant to remove stop signs. Once they're up, I'd rather they stay up because you have so many people that have relied on them for years and years and years. it might be something where they forget that it's no longer a four-way stop intersection, and that would just make it much more dangerous. I think somebody could keep on because we four-way stop sign. I'd rather those stop signs remain there. And we have other areas in town where four-way stops have gone up that haven't necessarily been a good decision putting those up there. And certainly the more four-way intersections we have like that, four-way stop intersections, we have to have the enforceability part of it. And the only way to enforce a four-way stop like that is have an officer sit there and watch the intersection. We have an intersection now at Neville Haynes and Avenue I that we're getting reports on that people blow through that intersection. But again, it's difficult for me to have an officer just sit there because it lowers their productivity by just sitting and watching one intersection. When we got
You're gonna have to do a hand search through all this stuff. You guys need to be out there patrolling the streets, not doing clerical functions.
well, it would be me and somebody else doing that. So they'll still be on the streets. It just may not be readily accessible to accident information.
Anytime you get down to hands-on, it's gonna take a lot.
Chief, that's a 30-mile-an-hour.
Because I think there's a manual in it that determines how you look at an area for proposed traffic signs or anything like that.
Yeah, everything that we enact has to be part of the manual on uniform traffic control devices. It has to adhere to those guidelines. And again, every traffic control device has to be approved by council. So, right. I'm really reluctant to take any out that have already been in place. Now, yield signs, I advocate changing every yield sign to a stop sign. I just don't believe in yield signs.
They should have never been around.
I've seen too many yield signs where people, they think they only have to yield when there's a car coming.
Well, better,
Yeah, not even slowing down to watch and look. So it poses a dangerous situation.
Okay, if you pursue that study, and get back with us on that, we appreciate it because, I know we've got some concerned citizens here concerned that particular intersection. Yes, sir. So, thank you, sir. That'll be great.
No, not quite.
We can move
Okay, let's move on in. Okay, action items to be accommodated by a brief statement of facts, including for budget 2030, if applicable. Action items limited to 10 per meeting. Citizens are allowed to comment, limit to 3 minutes after being called upon by mayor. The citizens are required to state their names and the board inputs they desire. Priority will be given to citizens of Alpine and those who own business or property in the city. Individuals who do not live in or own business or property in the city limits of Alpine will be allowed to speak if there is time available. Is there anybody that wishes to speak? Okay, I see none. Then we shall move on to the item number 8. And City Council Stevens.
Thanks, Mayor. So if you look in the packages, action item number 8, it follows right on the discussion we just had. The intent behind action item number 8 was to give some background of what went on and the discussion we had at council on February 7th with regard to 5th and Saw Loss. We're concerned about parking and gave you some feedback about the meeting I had with Dave Rogers at the bank